Hey there, fellow YouTuber. I hope you've been enjoying the journey. If you're here because you want to start a gaming YouTube, stop. Stop while you can. Welcome to the MC Show. Today we are diving head first into the world of content creating here on YouTube. Even if you don't do video games, I think there will still be some helpful tips throughout this video that will still have you making content that'll make people LOL, ROFL, ROTF, LMAO. So get a notepad, drop a like on this video, and let's get into it. All right, let's talk equipment. The camera I have here is a Sony a6400, which is not a cheap camera, I'm not gonna lie. But there are a ton in that category, like the one that's flying off the shelf, the Sony V1. They're not paying me for this vid, but the biggest recommendation here is get a camera that is either 1080p or 4K, and one that has the ability to either hook up to your computer or have a rechargeable battery. For my camera, I actually have a battery that's able to plug into one of my outlets. I don't really have to charge it unless I use the camera away from my desk. But before we get too far, please do not get intimidated already. I started off with a very cheap webcam and just constantly took baby steps up to a more expensive camera, or just when I was able to have that knowledge to know what a more expensive camera can actually do. I actually still have a webcam, the Logitech 1080. I use it for things like having live streams and Discord chats, but I love having an external camera because when I go back to edit, it's a standalone file, which is important when you want to record gameplay. A microphone is of course next on that list for anyone that is planning to do voiceovers in any shape or form. You do not want to use the audio from your camera or webcam unless you're really good at editing. For example, this is what it sounds like when it is just my camera's audio. The good thing here, once again, is there are mics for all price ranges. I started off with a very affordable Snowball, I believe it was called, the Yeti Snowball. I eventually then worked my way up to a more expensive model in their series of microphones. This is still a Blue microphone. There's really no good answer here except to stay in your budget. You sort of get what you pay for, but at least get something reputable or that you have seen or heard on other YouTube videos. Lastly, a console and or computer. We are entering the next generation of video games, so that means you need to invest in either a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series. But if you don't care and want to play PS3, you will be a retro content creator. You see what I did there? It's not about the equipment you have, just how you use it. But computers are tricky, and there's truly no real way to tell someone the type of computer they need. I started with a $300 laptop, and 7 years later started to fund the dream computer I've always wanted. My only tip here is if your computer does not run efficiently, please get a new one, even if it is that same model, because a lot of the softwares we'll talk about, you will have to run those efficiently. I also do have two monitors right in front of me. This is personal preference, but this way I'm able to see what I'm recording as well as play my games the way it's intended. Same goes for vlogging content, makeup content. You want to be able to see what you're recording as well as record it efficiently. Lastly, for my console gang members, if you want to be able to stream your console to your computer without using their native recording stuff, you will need what's called an Elgato. The one I have is a really old one, but these are not cheap. So think on this decision because this is the only way that I know of to record your console to your computer. Now let's talk recording. The first time I used OBS, I was flipping stuff all around. I had stuff upside down, stuff wasn't working, and my head turned into an emoji. It was like my computer had a mind of its own, but somebody like me loves to learn. The first recording software I ever used was OBS, thanks to my boy Dre, who actually had experience using it. My recommendation to you is ask your friends and other YouTubers what type of software they are comfortable using. That way you'll be able to have someone to lean on for questions and concerns about how to use the program. And you'll be able to see in real time how they are using it when they upload videos or do their live streams. This isn't a tutorial video on how to use OBS, but I will link a few. But the point of this software is to record or stream your computer screen. The only other recording software I have experience with is Streamlabs, which has a great reputation. The only warning I usually hear is you need a decent computer to run it, but the difference between the two is OBS is sort of like a DIY, where Streamlabs you can really go in there and make a ton of changes with 2 clicks. In my OBS, I made my own scenes, my own pop-ups and all of that, so kind of gives you an idea on how people use the two. Once you choose a recording software, I highly recommend to download a audio recording software. As I said earlier, you don't want to mix your camera audio with your mic audio. Same instance here, you don't want to mix your recording audio with your mic audio because you won't be able to edit them separately, which we'll talk a little about later. There are a few out there, but the one I have grown to enjoy the most is Audacity, and I had some experience with WavePad. What's nice about both, they don't push your computer too hard, which is nice when you're recording, live streaming, have cameras going, and they can both do things like a de-esser, take out background sound and other random stuff before you put it in your editing software. Personally, this is the most grueling part of being a YouTuber, but at the same time, this is where you can truly build your style. I always use this as the intro. I always have these type of sound effects. I always have this clip come in. Like, no one is stopping you. It's your YouTube page. Where if you have an editor, you're kind of limited to what they are able to do. People always ask me, should they pay an editor? The simple question I ask back is your YouTube making money? So if you are just getting started, which is I feel like is a reason you would be on this video, you don't want to start your YouTube page in the red. That just doesn't sound beneficial. And you are also learning how to edit yourself, so you'll be able to have those constructive conversations when you are able to eventually pay an editor. If you're like, oh my god, I don't want to learn how to edit, there's only a few things you really have to know how to do: adding files, cutting, moving and zooming in and out, preset effects, basic audio editing, and rendering the file correctly. As a beginner, this is really all you would need to learn. And like I said above, you have your screen recording, you have your audio, and you have your camera file. So that gives you complete freedom to edit and manipulate everything you need to. As far as editing goes, I am a die-hard Adobe Premiere user, only because most of the jobs and schooling I've done use Adobe. DaVinci has made a huge come up in the last 2 or 3 years because it's free for most of the features that I talked about. And there's already a ton of tutorials here on YouTube. Lastly, don't forget CapCut, as they are starting to get more popular for horizontal style videos. And a lot of people are using that for TikTok as we speak. This stage will take some practice. I mean, it's just the space it's in. Some really bad edits to find out what you're good at or what you need to learn more about, and you'll be able to find something on the internet that will tell you how to do it step by step. Now, planning and scripting, I think, is one of the most important things about starting a YouTube page. Yes, I did script this video. Do I script every video? No. But does each video come with its own plan? 100%. You have your equipment, you have your software, and you're ready to press record, and you're stuck because what now? How I start a lot of gaming video plans is, what is the game? What is the goal? Will there be a follow-up video, or is this one and done? And how long will it be? Most important thing here is the goal. Is the goal views, storytelling, shouting out another creator, spotlighting a new mod, and eventually edit it? Something like the MC show, you break it into sections. Intro, part 1, part 2. This is where you can list certain camera angles, certain quotes, or just write small reminders of this is where we'll put in a funny clip.
What?
Went to Chicago yesterday.
Second group up, let's go.
Oh, no smoke with him.
The main thing to note here, we are trying to be efficient. You just don't want to upload videos because you can. You want a purpose behind it, because that is how you'll be able to make improvements and changes to better your content, because you can specifically pick out things that are working and what's not working. Lastly, marketing. I actually do have career experience in marketing. I do not have career experience in YouTube or content creating, because there is no right answer. Everything I have learned on my own. But the first thing I did find out was what platforms do well for your niche. For example, NBA 2K has a huge Twitter fan base, where something like Fortnite dominates on TikTok. What I'm saying here is, do not put your content in places that the content doesn't do well. I'm not posting my American Truck Simulator videos on Tumblr. Next thing is revive your own content. I do this a ton with my live streams. Go back and pull smaller parts from the video and put them on things like YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Even re-upload certain parts of your live stream as a YouTube video. Another thing is the YouTube analytics. Here you can see watch time, where people make it to before clicking off your video, and even what search terms are popular at that moment. There's a lot of info here to help you understand what needs to change for more people to find your video. And yes, the title matters. So before posting your content, look up other videos in that category. Have a Sims video dropping about clothing? Type in Sims clothing and see the first few videos that come up. That way it gives you an idea of not only what type of content to make, but what to title it. My personal tip, and some may not agree, but don't always go for the big fish. Your content may not always be viral, so why limit yourself? Just change your expectations. You want to find your viewer base, not the people just looking for viral content. And who says your older content can't go viral at a later time? That's happened to me. I've had videos do well months later. Lastly, the most important thing any marketing strategy can think of: consistency. If you are growing a TikTok following, a Twitter following, or you get a viral video here on YouTube, you better be planning out your next move, because the algorithm is already thinking about you and the viewers that have just came across your content. This may sound like you have to post every day, and I'm not saying that. Just have a plan. What are you doing next? Because let's be honest, if you've made it this far in the video, you are serious about being a content creator, and a serious content creator is consistent. Ooh, well, that is a wrap. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, but I wanted to share tips of what I've learned so far to start my YouTube journey. So thank you for watching another episode of The MC Show. Remember, it's not about having the fanciest equipment or the best plan. It's about embracing the life of content creating and being willing to learn. And most of all, getting started. If you learned anything, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share this video with anyone you think would benefit from this. Also, please comment any recommendations I just didn't share or forgot to share. I want this video to live on my YouTube forever, for a resource for people to go back to understand what it's like to start a YouTube page. And once again, all of the links of things that I've mentioned in this video will be in the description. It's Malik Childish. I'm gone.